Did I just hit new game? What did I just do? Did I just hit the wrong button? Shit. Nope, we're good. Okay. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back. We're playing Satisfactory. Hey, listen, we got to focus the fuck up. Not that we have been distracted recently by, in past streams, Colorado. Already in this stream, a conversation about art and sex drive and smut and audience and etc. We have to focus up because it is almost the end of Fixmas. As I stream today, it is January 13th, and I believe that Fixmas ends. Oh, please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. On the 18th. Carly looked this up for me earlier in the gaming channel. January 18th. So, our first priority today is going to be to go... oh my god. There we go. To go over, check on Fixmas, see how things are going, and go from there. We're in the middle of redesigning our whole factory, which I'm really excited for and I've had a lot of ideas for. But we need to start with Fixmas because that's the one that's literally on a time limit. Yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it. Tony clipped it. Oh my god, thank you. You guys have been so good about clipping. I appreciate it so much. Is what I mean. I feel like I'm riding a high of the off of the indies after last week. Like, I really feel like my general mood has just been improved so greatly by how much fun the indies was. Me too. Indies were so fun. Man, yeah, they were. Hard drive scan has been completed. Tempered Caterium ingot. We're barely going to think about this right now. Uses petroleum coke. I mean, maybe, I guess. Adhered iron plate. Rather than iron and screws, it takes iron and rubber. And it uses less iron. Oh, now, and it's faster. Now that seems very interesting. Okay. Our goal here is to focus on Fixmas. Let's do this first. Is the text on the helmet backwards because the image is mirrored or you're a poor engineer? Option 3, I have the ability to write in reverse script. No, my camera's just flipped. Yeah. I'm glad the indies are done so I don't have to keep the cameo a secret anymore. Oh my god. That was the coolest thing of all time. Let's go grab the... We showed that cameo, by the way, in case you missed it, if you weren't at the indies. The mods gave Megan and I a gift, which is that they got on Cameo and got Josh Rubin of Make Some Noise fame to make a video asking that I be fired from my job as a Twitch streamer. I need 131 more. Where the fuck are those? Are we just waiting on the iron? Uh-oh. Did I do my numbers wrong? One of the greatest gifts I've ever received. It was just so, like... It was so out of left field and amazing. We need iron, and we need more blue. Is blue not being delivered yet? Is that what's going on? Yep. Okay. Okay. My inventory is a mess. Shit. Okay. Let's go get rid of some stuff in our inventory, and then we'll do it. Mars, you guys are literally going to have to retire. In the past indie stretch, you got a custom video game with custom writing, custom art made after my life, a children's book featuring my dogs as the heroes of the story, with hand-drawn art and with custom art and a custom story, and a cameo from Josh Rubin / the song from Killer Cat. I don't deserve you guys as a community. That's the long and short of the entire. That's the entire. Like, that's the whole story. I am amazed. Is there a link to the Killer Cat song? That's a great question. It's timestamped on the YouTube VODs by Shadowlink. Yo, shout out to Shadowlink for doing that. That's great. That's great. Let's get rid of some iron and probably a couple other things because I don't really want it all in my inventory. We can just chuck it and get a couple... coupons out of it and have more inventory slots. Okay. We were literally just talking about it and I didn't list it. That's how much crazy stuff there was. Yeah. I can't believe I had to vote against Josh Rubin. By the way, we did not spend enough time on the day of the Indies talking about the fact that like 31% of you voted that I should be fired from my job. Can we talk about that? I need to know who the 31% of you were. And I need names. I need how many shats you spent on voting against me. I need it all. It was for the funny number, obviously. I don't care if it was for the funny number. If you voted against me, I need to know. Okay, so this is bad. We need to check in on this in a little while. Okay, in 50 minutes, chat. I need to come back here. 50 minutes. I have a timer going. I'll try and remind myself. 50 minutes, I need to come back here and I need to switch the iron into that thing. So that we can make more of these. Okay. I voted both ways. You can do that? I'm nervous because there's only a couple days left and I don't know what is required for these. Quicksmith Wreath. Okay. All right. We're just going to have to wait. Okay, so there's a crate over here. We'll go back, I guess. Raise your hand if you voted to fire me from my job. Artifice. Public. Gyrodine. I expected that, but Oliver? That hurts. That hurts a lot. So many traitors. You know what this is like? Guys, I can tell you. I know what... Okay, prepare yourselves for the next couple weeks to get major Walking Dead spoilers. The TV show came out like 15 years ago, all right? If you haven't seen it at this point, be prepared to be spoiled. On the other hand, because I am a hypocrite, please do not spoil anything from The Walking Dead for me personally because I am still watching it. This is like that moment when Shane didn't tell Rick about the fact... I mean, so much stuff, right? Because, holy cow. This is like when Shane didn't tell Rick almost anything because of what was going on between him and Lori, you know? Do we have any Walking Dead fans in the chat? Zuma says, I voted against you. Sorry, I wanted my free time back. Nice. I mean, that's kind of rude. I love it. Ryan, what season / episode are you on? I'm on season 2, episode like 6 or 7. Okay, I had a thought about how we should do this recently. We don't actually need these because of this. Means we can delete those. That also probably means I could do a little... It's not going to work. It's not going to look good. Yeah, we don't need the ramp. You could do stairs. I wish you could do like a half a stair, you know? Could do that. I mean, that's ugly as sin, though, right? It's ugly as sin. I don't like it. Okay, the other thought I had is this. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. How expensive are these? Can I put them on things? I don't actually have the quartz crystal to make these. I watched the first 4 or 5 seasons of it multiple times. I'll be honest with you. The Walking Dead has been a lot of fun. Watching The Walking Dead mostly makes me want to restart Lost with Megan. Megan and I were watching... This is too ugly, though. It'll be right in the way if we have to do something with it. Like, if we have to split one of these off, it'll be splitter there. But where do I put the signs? Do I put them behind? That doesn't make sense. Can I put them on the ground? And then can I build over them? That doesn't... There's got to be a way to make this work. What happened last time you watched? You're at the farm, I can tell, but what happened recently? Okay, so here's the Walking Dead goss. Here's what's going on. So, we're at the farm. Herschel has just saved Carl.
Hope
Can I
your
just
wrist
say?
feels better. Been loving the Ori videos.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you. My wrist feels, it feels okay right now. Feels all right. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 14 months. Coral. Can I just say, if you're naming your child Carl, please, dear God, let nobody in chat be named Carl. Like, that's a choice. That's all I'll say. That's just a choice. We just do a tiny sign. I feel like if you're named Carl, you have to be 60 years or older. Period. I need some quartz crystal to make this work anyways. Okay. The last thing that happened, we're at the farm. Herschel just saved Carl. Lynn is sleeping with the farmer's daughter. These are going the wrong way. So that's a big deal. But also she's mad at him all the time. Lori just found out she's pregnant right after she nearly lost Carl. Shane and Andrea are sleeping together out of nowhere. Daryl is all of a sudden becoming my favorite character. That's right, the white trash brother of Merle Dixon is becoming my favorite character. How is this happening? Sophia's still lost. I swear I thought Daryl was my least favorite character, and all of a sudden he's my actual favorite character. Daryl's the best? I get it. I totally get it. Here's the big news, though. The most recent thing that's happened is fucking, although Glenn might actually be my favorite character, is they found walkers in the barn. There's walkers in the barn. I can't believe it, but there's Herschel ain't all he seems, and the walkers. Herschel's got some issues. Herschel's not the man you thought he was. How do I label this stuff? Hearing Ryan talk about a show feels so wrong. I contain multitudes. All it takes to get me to watch a show is for me to be so injured that I can't touch my computer for an entire weekend. I can't do any work. And is it stressing me out because I'm not getting any of my work done? Yes. Does it matter? Nope. It's fine. How do I want to label this shit? I can't put it behind because there's these big gaps in the wall that just don't make sense. I read the comics and I wildly prefer the show. That's exciting. No, go, go, go. Fuck. Okay. Go, 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 go. Okay. Nice. Nailed it. So from here, they're going to go like right there. I feel like this is actually the perfect time to talk about this because I can build while talking. Don't we all have issues? We do all have issues. However, hear me out. Herschel has issues because nobody has as many issues as characters written for TV shows. Because it's like, it's how you advance the plot. It's how you make anything interesting. You give them issues. Give them all kinds of issues. My dad loved The Walking Dead until Redacted. Uh-oh. So, from here we go up. Why is that one looking different? That was weird. Rest of these all look the same minus this one. Because of the rotation? I bet that'll be better. Ah. The entire concept of slow-moving mindless zombies only works when characters make dumb decisions. I mean, it's true. I hear what you're saying. I also think, though, that, like, part of it is... Oh, look at this. These are lined up this way, and this one's lined up the other way. I think part of it, too, is just that... I mean, I think it's funny. To me, and I'll be interested to hear what you guys think, but to me, zombies is the most... Zombies as a genre is the most, like, suspension of disbelief genre out there. Right? What I mean by that is, like... So by suspension of disbelief, I mean, like, when you encounter a work of fiction that changes certain rules about how the world works, and you have to sort of set aside some of your, like, logistical questions, or, like, that would never happen because of this, or, like, I would just do this, and that would obviously win the situation, or the character should just do this. I think it's because it's horror adjacent, or directly horror, and I think horror has a lot of suspension of disbelief. Because of course you would make a better decision than these characters. Of course you would do this. Of course you would do that. But the point of the thing is not that you would do that. It's that they are doing this. And I think I don't know. I think we just bring so much, like... Couldn't you use that to justify any bad writing in zombie movies, though? I wouldn't. I mean, to me, suspension of disbelief is a sign of good writing. To me, you are asked to suspend your belief by writing. And then, if you successfully suspend your belief, that's a sign that it was good writing. If you cannot successfully suspend your belief, it's because things are not being handled in such a good way that you feel capable of doing that. You do not have trust that the artist is handling it in a way that. See, those are all rotated the other way. I don't care though. I don't care, though. I'm not saying zombies are the most suspension of disbelief genre because, which is like free reign to do whatever the fuck you want. I mean that there are so many, in my opinion, in the zombie genre, there's so much like. There's so many logistical questions that we just choose to ignore because past works of past artistic stuff has asked us to suspend our disbelief, and we just get on with it, right? Like, how are these zombies like? There's a calorie problem, right? Like, what's going on with these zombies? There should be there's a calorie deficit running here. They're so slow, you can just outrun them. Like, there's just a million different, like, tiny little... If all they eat is brains... Not that that's the case in The Walking Dead, but... I'm of the opinion that it's more about the viewer than about the writing. What do you mean? I mean, I certainly think I think we've all encountered that audience member who cannot find it in their body. They cannot find it in themselves to suspend their disbelief about anything. All they want to do is poke a logistical hole in something, right? We've all met that person. However, I think I've decided I'm going to move this all down because it does not make sense to put the door that high, right? So there's always your one-off people who are like, no, I refuse to suspend my disbelief. But you're not writing for those people. The way I would describe it is that you're writing for the middle 50%, right? Hi, Liquid Darkness. How's it going? First time here at one of your streams. Just finished watching your Subnautica playthrough on YouTube. Yay! Hey! Welcome in. Some audience members are never going to be able to sit through a movie and be like, well, in this situation, I would do this. Or, well, the logical answer is to... But the thing is, you're not ever writing for those people. Because those people are probably miserable and are certainly not able to engage with the art in the way that you as an artist hope or intend. Because those people are not actually able to suspend their disbelief and become immersed. Because that's the second half of the suspend your disbelief. When you suspend your disbelief, you then get to hop in and you ignore logistical questions or well, in this other version of this genre, this thing happens, or, you ignore all of that. Needs to go. Ah, shit. Needs to go that way. But if you can convince the middle 50%, or whatever that actual number is, to get over the fact that these zombies seem awfully slow, isn't your best bet just to outrun them? Not to shoot them in the head, or not to, get yourself in a situation where you're surrounded and you can't... Like, isn't your best bet just to be fast? Well, being fast doesn't make for very interesting TV. Like, having decisions that will affect the lives of the other people you're in a group with makes for more interesting TV, at least character-driven TV, I think you shouldn't be writing for an audience at all. I think you have to write only for yourself and hope that your craft attracts an audience. But I'm a radical. Okay, I'll take you in good faith on this comment. I'll take you in good faith on this comment. Here's why I disagree in many, many ways and also agree in one very important one. One of my favorite pieces of advice I ever read is from Kurt Vonnegut, which is, let me find the actual quote so that I don't... Here's how I agree with you. Quote by Kurt Vonnegut: write to please just one person. If you open a window and make love to the world, so to speak, your story will get pneumonia. The idea there is that, similar to what you're saying, you should write only for yourself, or you should write for one specific person. You should write not with a broad audience in mind, with a bunch of people in mind, and be worried about what the public or the vast array of people is going to think about what you're doing. You should write for just one specific person, and that's the way to get to a truer story, a truer meaning, to not preach to people or patronize them, but to honestly explore and then attempt to answer something about whatever it is that you're trying to make. I agree. However, one, we're talking about TV here. Like that is so far removed from the reality of how TV is made let alone most art that is mass consumed, that it is that even if a sliver of that is a part of your artistic process, it's not going to, it's not the way that it gets from you to being played to millions on television, right? Like, the other thing here is that I disagree with, or that I think we're actually saying the same thing about, is this. If I'm writing something for Megan, and Megan knows all my inside jokes, I can write something that references our inside jokes and lands with her in a way that would never land with you. Here's the problem. That doesn't make it better writing. That might make it a better gift to Megan, but we know from thousands of years of attempting to bend language to our will and to use it to tell stories, to elucidate characters and what's going on inside of these little consciousness machines that we have, we know that there are better ways to get the general population, to get intelligent people like you or like me to arrive at the same picture or the same conclusion. This is why saying, to give a very easy example, it is maybe more clear to write the sentence. Let me just pull this up on a Google Doc. You could make the argument. This is not a perfect example here. This is our Colorado episode, by the way. Ah, wrong button. Shit. Ah! Don't look at that. Writing stream again. I can tell this is a chat that likes to have intelligent conversations. That's pretty awesome. It is awesome. I love it. I love it. It means that I get less done in Satisfactory than I would like to, but it is awesome. You know what? I'm gonna ignore my example for now and just and continue playing / talking through this. But so here's my thought, Warsmith. I think that you're right. That good writing has to have at its core that it is like one of the easiest ways to, like, how do I phrase this? One of the easiest ways to poison writing is to have, throughout the entire process, a consideration of how the general population would react to what you are making. I think it is very important to have a more specific audience in mind in the act of creation. I agree. That said, I think that is in balance with. That is in a constant push and pull with the other half of the equation, which is that if you write a sentence right now, through revision, we can get that sentence to be better for most people. If I write a bad sentence right now in the chat, doesn't even matter what it is, we can revise it so that it more clearly communicates what we hope for it to communicate to more people. That is the nature of writing. And I don't think that makes it less pure, less, like, I don't think that makes it any lesser by being smoothed out in that way. I love how Ryan's talking in chat is like, you mistakenly called us intelligent, so we got to show you the quotes. Listen, you guys are intelligent, at least most of you. Did you guys know he has a master's degree in creative writing? I do. In my opinion, you should definitely write for yourself first, but you often start writing because you want to create something that you can't find out there. Here's the second half of my thought. I'm going to read the rest of Anne's question, and then she just comment, and then she just reminded me of the second half of my point. In my opinion, you should definitely write for yourself first because you often start writing because you want to create something that you can't find out there. You write what you want to read, and you're not unique in that. Other people want what you're writing, but they aren't writers, so they'll consume what you made if you make it available for them. You still write for that audience whether you like it or not. Okay. So my next point is this. I think if you really get down to it, any sentence that starts with the following phrase, you should write like this, is wrong. There is no should when it comes to writing. There are certainly better ways to accomplish certain aspects of writing because we've spent thousands of years trying to master this art, this storytelling art. But I do not think there is a single sentence that starts with "you should" and is correct in writing. Because writing is a very vast, diverse set of experiences. Some people are writing for audiences. Some people are writing to publish mass novels. Some people are writing to self-publish a book. Some people are writing, like my stepdad did towards the end of his life, little poems that would only ever be read by my mom, and then after he passed away, read by me because I missed him and I wanted to read those poems. Some people will write stuff and then burn it the next day and no one ever sees it. There is no right, there is no should when it comes to writing that really at the end of the day carries any weight. Yeah. Jaredine, I disagree in more ways than I have fingers to count. And I don't even know where to begin, and so I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it real. I'm going to leave it at least arm's distance and maybe longer. But I do, just to be very clear, heavily disagree that all of the best stories we have are from centuries ago. Who's been reading? I'll just give you an example, for instance. Who's been reading Octavia Butler as L.A. burns in the distance? Like... I don't want to be rude, but I cannot possibly agree with you. Okay. So we're going to move this down a little bit. We got rid of this, which I think is good. We may actually move it back up because I kind of liked it being a little higher. Lumella, thanks for the Prime sub. Thanks so much. Once we get this thing built, we're going to test out the launching system. And I probably need to actually get rid of both of these two and include like a zoop toop or something. I think I want to do that. I think I would rather shove 2 less items into our vertical belting system and have a zoop toop situation here. But we'll see. Of course, that actually means 4 less because we have to do it on both sides if we're going to do it. I will say, so to engage with this comment maybe a little bit differently, I will say, what does it also mean for a story to be the best, right? Like, if none of the best stories have been written in the last 100 years, what does that mean? What does it mean for a story to qualify for that like title? I think you could make the argument for a lot of different things, right? Like, what makes a story the best? It is technically the best. It employs the best use of language. What is a story but like the use of language to arrive at an exploration of the truth, right? That's one definition for it. You could say that. I think you could also say that the best story is something that tells the most necessary truth, or the truth that is maybe the most important for us to hear right now, right? The most elucidating for its time, the most like illuminating for the time that you're in. I think that would be one. You could say popularity. It's not the argument. It's not the one I would use, but you could say popularity. Absolutely. And people make that argument all the time. But hear me out. I'm not a huge believer that stories Okay, there's okay, so lots of things here, right? What makes a story the best for you? I need better freaking jetpacks. And otherwise, I just need to use this. Uh-oh, sorry. I can hear my daughter throwing a fit in the other room. I know what I think makes for the best story, but that's only one opinion. In some ways, Mog, that might be, depending on what you mean by that, that might be the only opinion that really matters, right? Even if I wrote a 50,000 word book, fuck it, make it 100,000 because you'd need at least 100,000 words to make an argument for this, right? I could write a 100,000 word book on what I think the qualifications you would need to cover, what the qualifications would be for the best story. At the end of the day, if what I wrote, the qualifications for what I wrote, don't do it for you, then is it really fucking anything at all? Like, it's sort of like you can make the like cultural importance type of argument, which I am a little bit of a sucker for, you know? Maybe this story is important because it sort of covers a moment or a thing in of cultural importance better than anything else does. Was it this way or was it this way? Shit, I think it's this way. But even then, I think that's such a small slice of the pie, right? I think that's a tiny slice of the pie. I think that's such a tiny slice of the pie. I certainly don't think popularity qualifies a story to be the best story. We can poke holes. Let's do it, right? We can poke holes in all kinds of things, right? What's a potential marker for making a story the best? Popularity. Holy Bible's pretty important. I think there's some interesting storytelling in the Bible. I also think there's a whole bunch of family tree that I wouldn't argue makes for incredible storytelling. I wouldn't argue that some of the best-selling books, 50 Shades of Grey, Harry Potter, are some of the best examples of storytelling, are the best stories ever written. I really, really wouldn't argue that. And I'm a person who finds value in a lot of that stuff. But I wouldn't argue. Okay, door goes towards the middle. Towards the middle. Gone. So if it's not the number of copies sold, is it the, like, cultural importance? I think you can make that argument. I'd be happy to make that argument. I think it was right
Let's
here.
go 1 year, chat.
Let's go. You're making some powerful enemies by hating on 50 Shades of Grey. I once said I wouldn't hate on books that I hadn't read.
Okay, still can't say the huge thing he is missing, smiley face.
Oh no, not the huge thing I'm missing. I once said, I was 15 when I said this. I said, I won't hate on a book I haven't read. I find it to be like, it's like being, it's like, it's making assumptions, right? So I read 50 Shades of Grey, and I can say it is dog shit, but oh. On a sentence level, on a sentence structure level, on a grammar, syntax, clarity level, it's bad. But here's the thing I'll never say. If 50 Shades of Grey makes you feel something, that's one of the most important accomplishments of all. Because I've read plenty of books that didn't make me feel anything. And would I rather have something that made me feel something, even if it is a little something in my pants? I'd always rather have something that made me feel something. Always, 100%. It's all subjective in the end. I think that's also reductive, though, right? I think that's also reductive. You'd have to suspend your disbelief with 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. I think there is a large like part of the subjectivity to it. Oh my god. My daughter can just roll around now. She can't crawl, but I'm watching her on the monitor roll off of the blanket that she's supposed to be playing on and just roll towards a whole bunch of other stuff. This is the fear that's in the back of my head at all times right now. She just rolls everywhere. Okay, so I think our job right now is to take this blueprint and test it, because we need to get these angles down to see exactly where they will. We need to place it and test the angles. In my opinion, any 50 Shades conversation is incomplete without the full context of the work's history. Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. But before I do that, I probably want to finish this. We need to decide how we're going to use our... No, wrong one. Shit. Our conveyors to get through these levels. And we need to connect the power to the power level to level. So over here, how did we do that? We didn't do it. Do I have a thing that transports power through the floor? I mean, that'll do it. Will it go through the floor this way? It will not. Okay. Kind of ugly, though. Kind of ugly. The good news is I think we run... I don't need to do it out here because I can do it out here. Because power will run right here from there to there, meaning every single floor is now connected to every other floor. I will have to connect it when I connect the blueprint, but I think that works. Bye, Speeder. Thanks for being here. Maybe unpopular, but I don't hold much value in the language art part of writing. It can be the most simple and boring sentences and still have good storytelling. In fact, superfluous describing is a major turnoff for me. Laz, I wouldn't argue that's unpopular. In fact, I would argue that that's popular. I think in the strict sense of the word, that is actually popular. Would I be very happy to try and spend 20 minutes convincing you that that there is value? Maybe not for you personally, but absolutely 100% deep value for superfluous describing. God, chat is fun right now. I'm really, I mean that dead serious. Okay. So let's go ahead and connect the thing I was talking about earlier and then go from there. Oh, I used up my thingy. Fuck. I think that is something that makes art hard to discuss sometimes, though. People refuse to acknowledge the subjective nature of it. It's true. Which is funny, because to me... Oh, shit, I fell off. To me, the most... It's funny to me because So, take a shot. I have a master's degree in creative writing. To me, the most one of the most useful things I ever learned in grad school was sorry, I just got utterly distracted by Elle crying in the other room. She looks fine. Okay. Take a shot, by the way. I think I need to actually remove this entire layer. I think these need to go. I think I need to hook these up and then let them go. Give me 2 seconds, chat, and then I'll talk about it. Remind me in like 5 minutes to talk about feelings. Okay, so I think the way we're gonna do this is just by bringing these up. And then if I need to break something off, I'll actually just turn this around, put a splitter, go that way, put a splitter up, and go back to the thing. I think that's how this should work. So from here we go in, boom. Okay. I need to find a way to label this shit, but otherwise, we're drafting our first vertical factory blueprint here. I'm excited to try this out. I'm not confident in it, but I am excited to try it out. I think that looks pretty good. Where the fuck do I put these signs? I need to check and make sure there's a way, there's not a way to like put a sign on the ground. Because that's what I really want. I know I can label stuff this way. But I want a sign like on the ground. Because if I put the sign right here, that's going to be immediately in the way. If I put it all the way over here, then when I want to go look at something, I can't find it. If I put it back here, then it's in the fucking way. It's blocked. I could drop it down from the ceiling. Now that is interesting. Could I drop it down from the ceiling down here? Ceiling might make the most sense. But if we needed to split something off of this, the way we would be doing it is this. We'd be putting a splitter there. Go out. Whatever. Go up. We'd be putting the splitter on the... We'd be putting the lift on this side. Doing that. Doing that. Why is that so fucking ugly? There we go. Be doing that. So that's not so bad. This is a draft, but the problem is that would be right in the way of my sign. So, do I just put the sign out a little bit? Do I put the sign like right there? I could. It's kind of ugly though. If I'm sitting here, I'm like, which one is it? It's that one. That's not bad. Okay, we're going to probably hang the sign from that level. I got to think through this. Where I have ended up is that the best way I can evaluate art is on how successful it is at accomplishing what the creator wanted. Okay. This is my being reminded about feelings. Warsmith, I mostly agree. That's one of the ways that you'll hear it all the time when I'm playing a video game. Like, what was the intended experience here? That said, I have a major caveat. Or not even a caveat, it's just sort of like an umbrella. It's an umbrella. The umbrella is this. One of the most useful things I ever learned in grad school is actually one of the most simple things when it comes to discussing art, etc. You have to start with the basics, and the easiest way to start with the basics is to just label what you are feeling when you are feeling. When you are reading something, playing something, watching a movie. In my opinion, one of the easiest and best things you can do is to remove the part of you that's critically thinking, that's watching the puppet master pull the puppet. It's just to think, what is this making me feel? How am I feeling at this exact moment? And to start everything from there. Start everything from there. Alexithymia go burr. Hold up. I need to know what alexithymia is. From there, layered on top of that, what is it about what I'm feeling that might be being put to the use of or be intended by or how might it be being used by the art to do something is like step 2. Personality trait that describes difficulty identifying, understanding, and expressing emotions. Yeah. It's just like it kind of is that simple. And that is where the subjectivity about it can come into effect. I wouldn't say that it's particularly subjective to say that the novel Moby Dick has a whole bunch to say about labor and class. because objectively it 100% does. Whether or not that matters to you is a whole other question. What is subjective is like where you start. Where you start. What it made you feel. That part is utterly objective. Or, sorry, subjective. Utterly. I can't say what I'm feeling. All I can say is, oof, that did something. I didn't know what alexithymia was until right now. Sorry, I'm scrolling. RIP to the people on YouTube, by the way. They can't read all of these comments in their entirety. I think the most reductive way of labeling art is that if the artist feels something while making it, it's good because it serves its purpose. I have never heard that argument made before. It's very possible you have. I have never heard the artist felt something while they were making it as a reason to describe why something is good or purposeful art. I like to think art can always exist completely separate from its creator. In fact, it does not need a creator at all, which is why forces of nature can be art. Of course, the context of art's creation can add lots of value or contextualize it. Yeah, agreed, Laz. Agreed. I also think, like, that's why we create, isn't it? We feel something? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. I think that's one possible reason people create. I think people create to explore. People create to express. People create because they feel, you know. One version of that is that they felt something. I think not necessarily always, but... Okay, let's just try this right here and see what we learn. You said to write with one person in mind. I don't think that audience has to be someone else. There's a whole very interesting identity question at the heart of this artifice, which is that when you write for an audience, you necessarily misunderstand that audience. You are necessarily writing towards your understanding of that audience rather than that audience's understanding of themselves. Because we are human, and one of the most human and basic truths is that it is not actually possible to utterly know someone else's experience and the totality of someone else's consciousness. It also, in my opinion, is what makes writing specifically so interesting. Okay, we're going to test out expansion with this blueprint. One of my favorite descriptions of writing in the last 10 years that I'm going to get utterly wrong here is a description that John Green gave. And I'm going to misquote him here, but that was it. Shit. But basically, like, reading a novel is the closest... John Green said something like, reading a novel is the closest I'll ever get to living inside of someone else's brain. Another way to phrase it could be that the structure of the sentence is about as close as we can get. Reading someone else's sentence is about as close as we can ever get to walking in the shoes of their thought as it progresses, right? Now, writing is very specifically a, like, highly curated version of that. Conversation is a less curated version of that. But to me, that's what, like, from the small level or the macro level, maybe, language to the, like, very micro level, a specific novel. Like, that's kind of what it's doing, is this, like, this guided, curated trip to another person's brain, trip through another person's thought processes, etc. And that raises a lot of interesting questions about audience, I think. But... Hi, Hero, what's up? If the artist feels something from what they created... Sorry, one second. Hi, Formy. How's it going? How's the weekend? Weekend was good. I did not touch my computer for the entire For the entire weekend. Right, example, journals are writing for the selfie at the Diary of Anne Frank is very well renowned, even if it was never intended for another audience. Would you say it's not art? I would never say it's not art. Not at all. If we chuck this here, I think that's an okay place to put it. Then we have to power it. I think my computer is lagging. That's interesting. And we have to test. Our goal here is just to test these things. If I walk out the door. Whoa, why did I go sideways? Did I hit that button? Because I brought momentum to it? Uh-oh. If I bring momentum. Oh no, momentum matters. Oh fuck. That's interesting. Okay, we'll have to add that later. Oh boy. Momentum matters, chat. I think you guys are also saying something funny here, which is that I think we're almost sort of... So hear me out here. Question for you. I don't think in the moment of creation is when something is determined whether or not it is art. Does that make sense? I think we're sort of imagining... And this gets back to the, like, removal of the artist from the art. But I don't think, frankly... Like, if we take the Diary of Anne Frank as an example, I would call it art. When would I say that it became art? I don't know. I don't know that necessarily it's in the moment of writing. I think it's possible in the moment of first reading from a certain lens, right? Art is determined by others. I don't know. Haven't you seen all of the people on Twitter who are so happy to tell you what is and isn't art? I think they're probably onto something, right? They seem to say really loudly that they know what is and isn't art, so they're probably right. I mean, they're so happy to tell me that it isn't art. Okay, if I run... Oh! We couldn't have planned it better. Could not have planned it better. That was momentum. That was too hard. Shit. Like, I think that's the assumption at the heart of the, like, is journaling art question that I have the biggest, like, that my hackles get raised on. Is that it's like, but I don't know that the decision to write it is what then fits it into the category. Maybe. I think in some situations, deciding to write something is what fits it into the category. Ryan, is this art? If this is me, if this is Northern Lion with an Adidas hat over it, I swear to God, I think it's art. I think it's got to be. I don't know if you're art. I don't know if you're an artist for adding the Adidas hat to it. Somebody is an artist for having drawn it. Welcome to the What is Art episode. In 1 minute, I need to go check my... I think this is going to work really well. In 1 minute, I need to go check my my thing. Okay, so if that all works, then the next question is this. Signs will go here, right up there. I need quartz silver. The next question is how we stack it. Hit E twice. Go blueprint mode. And then climb some shit. Here's my other thing. Here's my hot take you didn't know you needed. I would say just look very warily at any person engaging. Look with like a second glance at any person engaging in the "is this art" conversation and coming dramatically down on the side of gatekeeping. I think if anybody is coming down super hard, super aggressively on the side of no, absolutely not art. I think that's almost a like 9 out of 10 times interesting. Someone has an agenda to push. Not always. I think there's... Oh, fuck. Okay, we are no longer afforded... Here's the other thing that I should say. Art is a courtesy. To be able to think about art, to be able to talk about it, it's an absolute privilege, and I no longer have that privilege. Thank you for this conversation. My fuse blew. I have to go figure out my power. I have no time to talk about your useless art.